Today I'm going to show you how to go out for a walk without distractions from your phone. I'm going to show you the apps I use to make sure my phone doesn't ping me or constantly claw away at my brain and make me want to check it to see if somebody has finally answered my text message.
Dude, you really have problems.
I am super compulsive when it comes to my phone, and I have to use tools to make sure my brain doesn't keep coming back to wanting to do something stupid on the phone. So if you're like me and you want to go out for a walk and you want your phone to track your steps and you want to actually enjoy your walk without constantly thinking about the email you could be checking or the text messages that somebody might have sent or what podcast you could be listening to right now, then this video is going to help you cripple your phone so that you can enjoy the freedom of being phone free while still having your phone with you, tracking your steps. By the way, this would be really helpful if you're participating in some sort of fundraiser that includes walking and tracking your steps, like the Walk for Healing, which Upright Health is sponsoring, and I will tell you about later in this video. So if you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right.
Are there any free solutions for this?
Yes, if you really want to walk distraction-free for free, then all you got to do is leave your phone at home. Don't bring it with you. Now, I know some people are thinking, I can't possibly go without my phone.
That's you, right?
Yes, that's actually people like me. But anyway, if you can convince yourself to just leave your phone at your desk or at home while you go out for a little walk around the block, then that is obviously the best thing you can possibly do to enjoy the present moment and enjoy your walk. But let's say you want to track your steps because you have certain fitness goals or because you are participating in a fundraiser or competition that requires you to track your steps. Then you need to bring your phone. But you don't want your brain to get caught up on using your phone for all sorts of lame excuses like, ooh, that's a really pretty fire hydrant. Emily would really like to see this mustard plant. Holy crap, $25 for a loaf of bread? So putting your phone on Do Not Disturb mode just doesn't cut it. The problem isn't just incoming texts and phone calls, it's that your brain constantly wants to do stuff when you see things and you keep thinking, oh, I'm just gonna use my phone real quick to do this. First, I'm going to talk about two apps on the iPhone that are really effective at doing this, and then I'm going to talk about what you can do on Android. And by the way, $25 for this loaf of bread at Erewhon in Los Angeles. Who are these people who can afford $25 for a loaf of bread?
I would pay that.
You don't even have a job, you're just spending my money. So the first app I want to recommend is absolutely free. It's called ScreenZen. It's this little beautiful icon here. And what you can do is download the app and then set up some app groups that you want to block. Now when I use the term block, it's not really a full block, but it's a great deterrent hurdle thing that's going to stop you from using apps super obsessively. So let's go through setting up an app group so you can see how this is going to help us when we're on a walk. So we go in here and then we can see app sites blocked. Okay, so we select this and then we're going to select the apps that we know are going to be real problematic for us, that we are compulsive about. So just to keep things simple, I'm just going to go into social here and yeah, I'll say Instagram, Telegram, TikTok, Signal, WhatsApp, all these different things, which, by the way, I don't really use these that often. That's why I don't already have these blocked out, but I didn't even realize I still had Instagram on my phone because I never use it. Anyway, we click done, and then we go into this section, which says start blocking, and that sets the time. So now you can see by default, it's running from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., which means it's running all day, which is awesome, that's fine. But if you want to customize this, you can just adjust things and set it to start whenever you want it to start, okay? So this is not just necessarily for walking, but this is going to help you throughout the day, okay? Then you can also set the days, right? So you could just say, you know, I only want this working Monday through Friday or whatever. However you want to customize that, that's up to you. But if you want to get massive benefits from this app, I would suggest leaving it for 7 days a week or customize it however you need so you can get your fix on the phone usage. Now we come to a very important section, and that is the pause time before unlock. It defaults to 5 seconds, but frankly, I don't think that's enough. If we're talking about blocking apps that are going to distract you while you are walking, I suggest you set it to something longer. Set it to something like 45 seconds or 60 seconds. Because here's what's going to happen. When you go to open an app that's in the list you just set, this app is going to make you wait this amount of time before that other app that you wanted actually opens. In other words, ScreenZen acts as a guardian that says, hey, you gotta wait. You just have to wait for 45 seconds or even 120 seconds, whatever you put in here. So when you're on your walk and you're like, oh, I should take a picture of that bush and post it to Instagram, you're gonna realize that you actually have to ruin your walk and stand there for 45 seconds, or you could just say, forget about it and keep on walking. So I'm gonna skip through the details of these other settings here. They are pretty cool. You should check them out. Maybe I'll do a video on them in the future, but all we need to do now is we can name this whatever we want, if we want, or just leave it. I'm just gonna call it walking, and then I'm gonna save that. And then you can see that I've got walking right there. Now we're gonna try to open up Instagram. You can see that there's that little bitty sand timer next to Instagram, and it doesn't show up as brightly as it normally would because ScreenZen is doing something right now. So if I click on Instagram, you can see I get asked this question: is this important? And it tells me how many times I've opened it, which, you know, as you can see, it's 0 because it's pretty much 0 every day. And then I'm gonna click unlock and it tells me 45 seconds? Oh man, 45 seconds. So now it's gonna tell me it's counting down to open. Now when you're on a walk and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna post this to Instagram, you have to be willing to sacrifice 45 seconds of your precious time and attention to just standing there waiting before you can take your picture and then do all the things. So hopefully you're gonna realize what a huge waste of time that is, what a drag on your mental resources that is, and how much healthier and happier you would be if you just kept on walking. And if you are participating in some sort of fundraiser or some sort of company competition, then it just helps you to keep on walking instead of standing around pointing this digital device into the ether. And it finally opened, and I remember why I hate Instagram, because it is a horrible cesspool. What's nice about ScreenZen is it works on autopilot all the time based on the schedule you set, based on the preferences you set. However, if you only want it to be working when you're going out for a walk, you want to manually engage it and disengage it, then you're going to want to look down here at the app group enabled setting and make sure that you have your time settings set up correctly. So if, for example, you want it to be active with just a click of a button, you just set it up so that it's always active technically, and then down here you could just set it to say it's not enabled, and then it won't be actively engaged until you're going out for the walk. Now the drawback here with ScreenZen is because it's so easy to do that, you might just try to override that when you're out on your walk, which is a really cheater, pumpkin eater way of going about things. Another simple free option is to take a bag, backpack, or purse and make sure that your phone is inside some kind of a zippered pocket and keep that nice and zipped up. Or what you can do is take your phone, put it into a bag, and then bury it in there, take a jacket or a sweater or something, and make sure that it is super inconvenient to reach so that in case you need it in an emergency, you could still get to it, but if you just needed to take a picture of that lamp post, you're not gonna go through all the trouble of digging in there to get to your phone. Simple and practical. Which brings me to the second app, which does cost money, but which is also really effective in different ways than ScreenZen. So Opal allows you to really lock your phone's functions, and it can be really strict with you so you can't get around your own defense mechanisms. Since this is a paid app, I know many people are just not even gonna look at this, but I encourage you to check out the free trial version of it and just test it a little bit and see if it's worth it to you. For me, as somebody who's super addicted and addictive and compulsive and who can't resist, it's really helpful to have an app that just completely locks me out if I tell it to. It's also helpful because it has a security feature that's a step below super strict that generally seems to work fine for me as well. The way you set things up is pretty similar to ScreenZen. You go in here, you can go start blocking session and then apps blocked. You can create these lists and you just add and then create either a block list or a white list, which is cool. A block list is just like ScreenZen setup. You choose the apps that you want to be blocked out of. A white list, on the other hand, is when you choose the apps that you want to be allowed to use and everything else gets blocked. So if you are looking for ease of blocking everything, this is super awesome. I've already set up a whitelist here, so I'm going to select that one. And then you can see that I can actually just start this when I want, or I could schedule these. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it for a walk. So I set my whitelist. It's just like bare essentials. Then I'm going to go down to difficulty here. Then you can see there's normal, timeout, and deep focus. So normal allows me to actually set this block, but it's really weak. It means I can just take breaks whenever I want, so it's kind of pointless. If you've used the screen time settings on the iPhone and you have found yourself clicking, give me 15 more minutes compulsively all night long, then you know how pointless it is to just go with the normal setting. Instead, timeout works really well, or deep focus is for the truly hardcore. The timeout setting means I'll be able to access only the apps that I've set up. And if I want to stop this session, I can take a break with some limitations. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to select timeout, then I'm going to start session, and the focus session is now on. When you look at my home screen, you can see now that my messages app is locked and I can't get in. It just gives me this Opal message and I can just close it out. Now, if I really need to get into that app right now, I can go into Opal and then I can go to my focus session here. I can see it's active right now and there's 30 minutes remaining. And you can see there's this countdown timer for break available in 3, 2, 1 seconds, and then I can take a break, okay? That break is gonna ask me, hey, how long do you actually wanna take that break for? Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, 15 minutes I can take that break. So it gives me that option, okay? Or I can just back out of it and not take that option. If I take a break and then later on in this block session, I'm thinking, oh, I need to take another break, it's gonna make me wait longer before it allows me to hit that take a break button. That means each time I wanna take a break, it's going to make it just a little bit harder and add a little more friction to the process. Now, what happens if I want to actually totally cancel the session? Well, I can do that too, and I can just click that and it's gonna exit out. That's a lot more friction than screen time on the iPhone, so it works really well for preventing my using my phone compulsively, especially on walks. Now, if we want to get really crazy so that we really can't mess around, then we use the deep focus setting. And if you use the deep focus setting, you will be locked out. So let's say I want to take a 30-minute walk, then I can go into the duration, I can set it for 30 minutes, confirm that time, make sure I have the right settings of the apps I want to lock myself out of, and then I can set that difficulty to deep focus, and there will be no option for taking a break or taking a picture of that bush over there. The big advantage of Opal is you can set up schedules on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever, and you can also set up these highly secure, highly inconvenient one-off block sessions that work really well for when you're gonna go on a walk. The only downside of Opal is it costs a little bit of money, but that small little bit of money is a lot less than all the bills that I would get from having to go to therapy or taking anti-anxiety medications from having my brain scattered and destroyed by using my phone all the time. Finally, let's talk about Android. I used to use a tiny Android phone called the Jelly 2, and that thing was awesome because it was super duper small. Unfortunately, it died a tragic death when it was connected via Bluetooth to Android Auto and doing navigation and a phone conversation and receiving text messages all at the same time for way too long. It turned into a tiny hot potato and died. The one app that I really loved when I had that Android phone was an app called AppBlock. AppBlock is a low-cost app that is really effective at blocking apps. Just like Opal on the iPhone, AppBlock is able to block you very effectively from the apps that you use compulsively. And just like Opal, you need to be very careful about how you set up your block sessions, because if you set up the super hard security level that blocks you out so that you can't stop the block session, and you set that block session to be way too long, or maybe 24 hours a day, you might manage to block yourself out of using your phone at all. So be careful. Just be very careful when you set up the security settings for your block sessions with Opal and App Block. So now you know how to walk without distraction while still keeping your phone with you to track your steps. You also now know how to restore some of the health of your brain since you've been feeding it with garbage from TikTok and Instagram day after day after day after day after day after day. If you'd like to walk distraction-free for a good cause, then I invite you to join me on the Walk for Healing. The Walk for Healing is a fundraiser for the Hospice of SLO County. The Hospice of SLO County provides support for people with a life-limiting illness. They provide grief counseling for those who are grieving the loss of a loved one. They also provide support groups, counseling, and in-home volunteer support for people who need it as they are dealing with a life-limiting illness. They serve their community for free. All of their services are absolutely cost-free for those who need it. All of their operations and educational programs are funded by grants, bequests, donations, and fundraisers like the Walk for Healing. This year, Upright Health is a platinum sponsor of the Walk for Healing, and we are trying to achieve 25,000 miles walked and $50,000 raised. I invite you to join me on the Walk for Healing. I'm going to leave a link in the description box and up above. I hope this video helps you track your steps while still actually enjoying your walk and being present with everything that's around you instead of getting stuck on your phone. If this video does help you, please drop me a comment down below. And if you'd like more videos to help you do simple human things better, then check these videos out here. For programs to help you rebuild your body at home, go to uprighthealth.com/DIY. Like, share, and subscribe with the bell notification on. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.